All right. It's so nice to see everybody here. Welcome, everybody. Family, friends, animals. My name is Cliff Hengst, and thank you, everybody, for coming here today to honor the life of Margaret Tedesco. Yeah. Margaret. Margaret was a dear friend and a confidant. She was an artist and a dancer and a performer. But what I remember about her the most was what a tireless advocate she was for the arts. Margaret knew everyone and everything that everyone was doing. She was there at openings, artist talks, screenings, plays, and performances. If she liked you, she told everyone about you. It was a real thrill to see Margaret connect with so many friends and artists at these events. She certainly was a big part of the art world of San Francisco. Mm-hmm. When I see what's happening to the support of the arts in San Francisco, and I see our galleries, our schools, our artist spaces, and our institutions slowly vanishing, I can't help but think about what Margaret's legacy meant to me. Her love and support of artists, writers, filmmakers, poets, and dancers helped create this vibrant community. And it is in that I will never forget what we once were and what we possibly could be. Kevin Killian once proclaimed her the spirit of San Francisco. May her spirit guide us into the future. Okay, I was going through my texts, as we all do when we want to go back and think about the memory of someone that we knew, and we used to text each other a lot. She used to tell me about movies, and I asked her always questions about things, and we were both big fans of Little Richard, and great, the king of rock and roll. We saw a documentary, and I asked her, I said, Margaret, did you ever see Little Richard? And you know that 3 dots that come on, 3 dots that come on. And then nothing, and then this text, and I'd like to read it to you. Hi, hope you both are doing very well. Fun LA facts. I have been looking for this memory for years, wondering if I imagined it. I was there the night after a Vietnam War demonstration in downtown LA, and I went to a concert at the Olympic Auditorium where Country Joe and the Fish, Albert King, John Hammond, and Little Richard went on. Lots of cops and tension in the air. Perhaps the wildest show I ever saw was when Little Richard, at the crescendo of his totally rocking and outrageous set, collapsed the stage at LA's Olympic Auditorium in 1970. At the time, he was dancing on top of the grand piano. I was about 25 feet from the stage looking up at him. The stage was mobbed by at least 100 people from the audience dancing. There was a sound like the crack of doom, and I have this indelible acid picture in my mind of Richard floating horizontally in the air above the piano, with his eyes bugging out as everything and everybody went down. Nobody died, and it was a miracle that the amps and the giant light standards didn't fall on top of everyone. Just another tale from the days before the last gasp of hippiedom died. Richard was ambulanced away, and the evening was over. All right, so next up we have the one and only Nao Bustamante.
Hello. Hi. Does anyone have an empty chair next to them? If you raise your hand, if anyone needs to sit, you can do so now. There are some empty chairs. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much to the people who organized this event. Thank you to those people who were with Margaret when she left us. Thank you. I wanted to start by, well, I had a lot of different ideas, okay? I couldn't really do it. I couldn't settle. I couldn't make the right idea. And as I walked around the city, you know, the thing I thought was, Margaret is completely imprinted on this city. Yeah? Everywhere I would go, oh, there's Margaret's house. Oh, there's where Margaret and I had Christmas lunch. Oh, there's where we saw that movie. Oh, there's where she took Tai Chi. Oh, there's where we met for coffee, right? So endless. And I'm sure a lot of you, when you walk around the city, you feel the same, right? What I'd love to do right now is for all of us just to call Margaret in. She's busy right now. She's doing this, she's doing that, she's running around, she's doing this, curating shows. She's really busy, so we need to get her attention, okay? Can we call her? Margaret! Oh, Maggie! Madge! Come on now. Maybe some whispering to Margaret. Margaret. Come on, Margaret. Margaret. Are you here? Come on, Margaret. Come on, Margaret. I know you're busy. Finish what you're doing. Finish what you're doing. We need you here. So in just a moment, I'm going to ask you all to sing. And I'm going to ask you to dance. One thing about Margaret, she loved to dance. Yeah? When I met Margaret, which was sometime in the 80s, we both identified as dancers, and she was in one of my pieces in early choreography that was at the lab when it was on, what was it, on Divisadero? Yeah? Divisadero. Anthony, it's going to be a little awkward because the lyrics are on this wall. So, you know, performance is a mess. It's inconvenient. Let's go. Pump it up. Dance with me. Yes, you people over here, let's dance. Come on. If you feel like dancing, if you feel like moving, watch out for the microphone. Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna sing out, and I'm gonna say this song kind of came into my consciousness after Margaret passed away. I'll also say some of the lyrics don't make sense for Margaret. So I'll point those out, but we can still sing it together as a kind of invocation to her to celebrate and bring her in here. Yes. Work out those hips. Work out those kinks. Work out that grief. Work out those shoulders. Yeah. Don't be shy now. Yes, I see some people that are younger than me bouncing. They make me feel like bouncing. Yes, yes, yes. for beginnings. The little things that made me nervous are gone in a moment. I miss the way we used to argue, locked in your basement. Remember I said some of the lyrics don't really make sense for Margaret? That was one of the lyrics that don't really make sense for Margaret. But some of them do make pretty good sense. So we'll just go with that. I wake up and the phone is ringing. Surprised as it's early. That shouldn't be a perfect warning that something's a problem. To tell the truth, I saw it coming. The way you were breathing, but nothing can prepare you for it. The voice on the other end. Dance, 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 motherfucker. Dance, dance, dance. Work it out, work it out, work it out. The worst is all the lovely weather. I'm stunned, it's not raining. The coffee isn't even bitter. But what's the difference? There's all the work that needs to be done. It's late for revision. There's all the time and all the planning, and songs to be finished, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming till the day it stops, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming till the day it stops, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming till the day it stops, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming till the day it stops. I wish that we could talk about it, but that's the problem. With someone new I couldn't start it. Too late for beginnings. You're smaller than my wife imagined. Surprised you were human. There shouldn't be this radio silence. But what are the options when someone great is gone? 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 We're saved for the moment. Saved for the moment. Dance! Yeah! Come on now, dance! Yes! Come on now. Thank you.
Nao Bustamante. Give it up for Nao. All right. And now I'd like to call up to the stage Scott Hewicker. Thanks, Cliff. Thanks, Nao. Thanks for giving me this moment now to take you down. I'm just going to read a small poem. Gloria Mundi by Michael Kleber Diggs. Come to my funeral, dressed as you would for an autumn walk in the woods. Arrive on your schedule. I give you permission to be late, even without good cause. If my day arrives and you had other plans, please proceed with them instead. Celebrate me there. Keep dancing. Tend your gardens. Live well. Don't stop. Think of me forever assigned to a period, a place, a people. Remember me in stories, not the first time you met, not the last, a time in between. Our moment here is small. I am too, a worldly thing among worldly things. 1 part per 7 billion. Make me smaller still. Repurpose my body, mix me with soil and seed, compost for a sapling. Make my remains useful, wondrous. Let me bloom and recede, let me grow and decay. Let me be lovely, yet temporal, like memories, like mahogany. Thank you, Scott. Now I'd like to call to the stage Tina Bastajian. Tina?
Wow. It's hard to follow that. To all you Margaret lovers out there, this room has so much love. I have to get some composure, sorry. I'd like to thank, firstly, all the organizers for today, Leila, Monique, Pam, Jennifer, Aaron, and so many others. And of course, the lab for making the live celebration of Margaret a truly precious and beautiful moment. I will begin by rewinding the tape. It was 1989 when I first laid eyes on Margaret. She appeared in Anne Hamilton's installation, Privation and Excesses, at Cap Street Projects. 750,000 pennies covered in honey, a nearby sheep, and there was Margaret, sitting wringing her hands in honey. I was transfixed by Margaret's presence, partly in sheer wonder, and partly because I was unabashedly checking her out. Albeit under the guise of art appreciation. But to no avail, Margaret was steadfast in character. Over the years, I saw her in and around the streets at art events in the Mission and Castro, and I vividly remember serving me countless coffee refills, even when my cup was full, at Café La Méditerranée, where she worked. But this time, she was flirting with me. But alas, we never got further than suggestive glances. Fast forward, it was 1995 when I officially met Margaret at Gay Pride. This day was marked by Margaret on the mixtape she made for me with an image of a Ferris wheel and the words, "Chance Meeting, June 19th, 1995. Margaret was always found a way to mark time for all things poignant. So, in typical lesbian fashion, the romance started almost immediately. I had just moved from SF to LA, and much of our relationship was long distance. And so there was a lot of telephone action and phone answering machine messages being exchanged. And well, her voice, Margaret's voice, her intonation, her delivery has always touched something in me that I cannot really express in words. But in trying to write something for today, which was very difficult, I decided to follow the trail, the spirit of Margaret's voice. by activating, voicing some of her exhibition and work titles, phrasings, notations, and shapes of thought that she had given to us through the years. In listening to an audio interview, Margaret mused how titles often came to her in dreams. She uses titles, her use of titles flex a sort of rhetorical dance, at times disobedient towards description to illustration. Rather, they suggest lines of flight, intuit a trace, gesture to open up a conversation. So, Margaret, a resonance that stays with you long after reading, after listening. So I stitched together just a few titles, lightly arranged, nothing much added except for spacing, breadth, and a few small additions culled from other Margaret affinities that passed my way in the last days, weeks. In writing these titles and phrases out, I could hear Margaret's voice, vocal cadences, and textures in my head. This helps to soothe my grief, made me laugh, conjured a dance of reflections in the space in between, and even a cinematic scene or two. I can also see the dance of Margaret's hands and how she would open or unfold a phrase, punctuate, and finish a sentence. But this isn't about imitating Margaret's voice, cadence, or movements, but who knows, something might just seep in. I'll treat them as iterative material, leaving adjacency to do the work. I want you. I want you to have my support. Place this. Hairy bun doorknob extension bathroom. 5 corners. Over, under, sideways, down. Gallery of illustrious queers. A step for those who like to talk while dancing. Into voices. One of these things twice. Love letter to the archive. The genre leaps, a rhetorical movement, a spirit of disruption. I want. Dance around the clock, moving target. Lift hands, brush knee, left. Time, silence, and the sky, a correspondence. An opera of whispers. Unlikely arrival, cameo. Oh, those Catholics. Mail art, newsprint, cassette tape box sent 1994. Love letter to the archive. Place this. Duck, bear, duck. Thrift Town, 1990, 65 cents. Greta Garbo, 2005, U.S. postal stamp issue. An unusual fortune cookie saying, no recall where acquired. Kitchen wall collage. One of these things twice. Out of sync, the genre leaps. Over, under, sideways, down. Without, within, the very moment. 7 places of the mind. 73. 7 plus 3 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. To begin again. Cameo. Pervasive light, persuasive light. White crane spreads its wings. And lastly, to my dear Margaret, in the words of Patti Smith, the path that cross will cross again. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Now I'd like to call to the stage Laurie Burnaby. Laurie?
Wow. This is amazing to see all of you here for Margaret. This is called Separation by W.S. Merwin. Your absence has gone through me like needle through a thread. I'm going to start over. Your absence has gone through me like thread through a needle. Everything I do stitched with its color. Margaret was my friend, collaborator, dance partner, artistic guru, and inspiration. I was finding my way after moving to Santa Barbara in 1982 with my family, searching for like-minded people in the small dance community. I first encountered Margaret's work when I saw her piece, Enclave. I immediately knew I'd found someone whose artistic vision was unique and enticing. It was simple and powerful and spoke to the essence of being female. 3 women in vintage bathing suits and bathing caps with their backs to the audience opened the piece. Subtle movements that were intriguing pulled the audience in. Margaret and I started a collaboration that was exciting for me. Our rehearsals had no structure except to talk about our personal lives and then ideas for movement. Margaret always had a plethora of references to spark and shape our pieces. We played with weight sharing, lifting, and working in close physical proximity. One piece was inspired by the photographs of Robert Longo, the series where he threw things at his subjects and caught their reaction in his photos, which was like life, where things are thrown at us and it's all about how we react. Our work had a visceral feel that projected strong emotion and feelings of sadness, confusion, love, and energy. Each piece was difficult to create because Margaret and I were very different. I remember feeling uneasy and not fully committed, or was it uncertainty and fear? Margaret would question everything, and I couldn't articulate how I felt. She was pushing me into unknown territory, out of my comfort zone. Yet her clarity and vision about who she was and what she wanted to do was undeniable and opened our work together to venture into new territory. The sum of the two of us was more than the two individuals, and that produced an intimacy that I believe was projected in our performances. When Margaret moved to San Francisco, there was a time when I came up to continue our work together. We did airmail dances with Remy Charlotte and performances in the city, but eventually the demands of life and logistics made it too difficult. Our creative lives separated, but our friendship continued. I always loved hearing from Margaret about what she was doing in San Francisco. She forged an amazing life. Graphic design, the second floor gallery, books, installations, collaborations, curating, talks, and gathering a tapestry of friends that became her family. In October of 2022, I was at UCLA waiting to speak to a surgeon about removing a cancerous tumor from my left kidney. Margaret called and she told me she'd been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. We were able to share our various treatments and the medical attention that we were each receiving. And I noticed a softness in Margaret. She was stoic and without sentiment about her own condition, but what came through was her care for me. Her appreciation for her circle of friends who showed up during those last 3 years of her life, and her wonderful team at UCSF. Margaret cared deeply, spoke honestly, and was fiercely independent. She lived her life in her own way. One of the things I loved about Margaret were her hands. They were sublimely expressive. I like to close my eyes and visualize Margaret's hands creating their own dance. And I will carry that with me forever.
Thank you, Laurie. I'd like to call up to the stage now Isabelle Massu. Isabelle.
Sorry, I'm not prepared yet for that. I would like to tell you the story of this image because obviously everybody knows this image now. And I'm going to start by reading a little piece that we wrote of the context where this image came and kind of traveled into decades. Something we wrote, Margaret and I, for an opening later on. A dream last winter in my mother's bed, back home in Paris, after a time spent here in San Francisco. A bedroom transformed into a gallery on the second floor of an apartment building. Looking twice between two worlds where I photographed you in black and white. A particular moment where time is suspended in that jet lag effort. You were here, sitting in the corner, holding your image, a portrait before you. So I took this image in the 90s, and just like that, it was a family reunion, and my family was greeting me and Margaret in France, and there was all my aunts. And I just took spontaneously this image. That was the creation of it. And then, for some reason, it traveled. When I came back, I lived with Margaret for 10 years in the 90s. And when I came back to live in Paris, I was very much torn in between two countries, but I felt like it also made me, being those, these two places. So I was working on an art project called Aux Deux Mondes, which means in between two worlds. And part of that project was this publication, where it's called 6 Degrees of Separation, which I feel Margaret is making me all there with you. So I published this, and then that was like a decade later, and then another decade later, I visited Margaret, so this is the poem, where the poem comes from, and I visited Margaret, and she already had second floor project, which, by the way, it was my bedroom at some point, our bedroom. So I actually went back home and had this dream. I was usually making a stop at my mom in the suburb, and then slept in her bed, and I had this dream about seeing Margaret in the corner of our bedroom, the gallery, and then holding that image in front of her. And of course, knowing the creativity of Margaret, she said, let's do it. So we actually, I think it was in 2007, something like this, so another moment in the life of this image. We actually made some sort of a performance at Second Floor Gallery, and she was there for 2 hours, holding that image in front of her. When I saw this image, at the one that you have in the middle of the program, I didn't know that image, and I didn't know that she actually reused again this image. And I was just, pretty blown away by that, and then realizing that it was actually in a moment she never told me about. I mean, she told me about the award that she got, but I didn't know she actually used that image. So when Monique and Leila and I decided to find an image, more you actually and Leila, because I was a bit kind of surprised, I realized that that image has traveled 4 decades. And you know, it's a story of an image. Margaret and I, we were doing a lot of photography in the 90s. We photographed Laurie and Margaret a lot dancing. And then, so I'm going to, there's a lot of people here. Margaret had an incredible archive, and she had kept probably 100 of these. And I'm going to put them over there, you know, to give you, because I would like this story to continue on, so that you can actually continue the spirit of Margaret alive through a lot over the decade. And I said to my daughter, Alma Esther Hilda, was really close to Margaret. And I said to her, you know, Alma, when someone died twice, and but really, until someone, you know, do not talk anymore about her name, pronounce her name, the people is still alive. And so, whoever is going to get them, you know, please keep her spirit alive. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Yeah. Let's see. It's going to be a short film. Is that right? Short film sound piece? Yes? Okay. It's going to be a short film sound piece.
The Shocks, Singapore Sling, Sisters of Satan, 6 Women for the Murderer, Skin 'em Alive, The Slasher is a Sex Maniac, Slaves in Cages, Small White House, Snake Dancer, The Sniper, Snuff, Sodomite, Sonic South, Sonic Outlaws, Sunny Boy, Soul Vengeance, Space is the Place, Speak of Evil, The Canon of Anton LaVey, Spermula, Spider, Labyrinth, Spider-Man, Splatman, The Spook Who Sat by the Door, Squalid Motel, SS Experiment Love Camp, SS Extermination Camp, SS Hell Camp, Stage Fright, Stalag 69, Star Crash, Star Wars Holiday Special, The Stendhal Syndrome, Story of Ricky, Straight Fucking Man, A Strange Harvest, Stranger in the Gunfighter, Stranger's Gold, Strawberries Need Rain, Street Gangs of Hong Kong, Street Law, Street Trash, Sucumbre, Sugar Hill, Sundance, Cassidy, and Butch the Kid, Super Chick, Super Ninja, Superstar, The Karen Carpenter Story, Suspiria, Swamp of the Raven, Sweater Girl, Sweet Home, Sweet Movie, Sweet Ballroom's Blitz, Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, Swinging Wives, Swinging Massacre, The Taking of Christina, Tales from the Gimli Hospital, Tales of the Bazaar, The Taming of Rebecca, Tattoo, Teenage Pajama Party, The Tenement, The 10th Victim, The The 10 Wonders of Love, Terror at Red Wolf Inn, Terror at the Opera, Terror at the Sea, The Terror of This Tiny Town, Terror on Your Tour, Titsu, The Texas Chainsaw Murderer, A Family Portrait. They call her One Eye, the Queen with the Two Heads. This is Murder Trap, those bloody, bloody matches. Three-Way Weekend, Through the Looking Glass, Thugs on Ice, Greatest Hockey Fights, 85 to 89. Thundercrack, Time of the Apes, Titty Cut Follies, Tongue, Too Hot to Handle, The Toolbox Murders, Top of the Heap, Torino, Center of Vice, The Tormentors, Tortured Woman, The Touchables, Tracy Ullman, Simpsons Shorts, Tracy I Love You, Trap Them and Kill Them, Trauma, Tribulation 99, Trick Baby, Trilogy of Lust 2, Truck Stop Women, Tusk, TV Sphincter, 2069 is the Sex Odyssey, 2072 AD, The New Gladiators, Two Crippled Heroes, Two Lane Blacktop, The Two Vampire Orphans, Ultra Flesh, the Ultra Six Brothers versus the Monster Army, Uncle Tom, Uncut Music Videos, Underground, The Unholy Rollers, Uninvited, Unkissed Bride, Valentina, Valerie and Her Week of Wonders, Vampire Sadism, Vampires, Vampiros Lesbos, Vengeance of the Zombies, Video Macumba, Video Scramble #1, Vigilante, the commentary, Viking Massacre, The Violation of Claudia, Violence Jack, Evil Town, Violent Bloodbath, The Virgin Among the Living Dead, Virgin Witch, Vlad the Impaler, Voltron, Hellbent for Leather, Voodoo Black Exorcist, Warm Up to Tracy Lords, Warriors Meal, Water Power, Watt-Stacks, Wax Mask, Weekend with the Babysitter, Werewolves on Wheels, Wet Wildness, When Taekwondo Strikes, White of the Eye, White Slave, Who Killed Teddy Bear, Wicked Schoolgirls, Wild Riders, The Wild Wild Planet, Willie Dynamite, Witchcraft 70, The Witch Who Came from the Sea, Wolf Devil Woman, The Woman Hunt, The Woman Inside, Woman in Cages, Woman in Cell Block 7, Women in Fury, Women's Prison Massacre, Working Girls, The World's Greatest Sinner, The World's Worst Show, Wilhelm Reich, Mysteries of the Organism, Yellow Hair, and The Fortress of Gold, The Zebra Force, A Zed in 2 Knots, Zombie, Zombies Lake, Zuma, Zoo Warriors from Magic Mountain.
I've been seeing that white bob around San Francisco the past few weeks. And every time I think it's her, it's not, but for a short split second, it's this beautiful feeling of Margaret. I'd like to call up to the stage now Pam Martin. Pam?
Aside from that white bob thinking that's her, I think she's going to call all the time too. This call to celebrate Margaret is a conjuring, carrying love. And I love Margaret for many reasons. Mainly because she runs on the same nerve line as my family. I knew her because of our fathers. I knew her because of our altar trespasses, and because she also had a few helpful nuns. Yes, I will celebrate M by carrying her with me every time I am in Rainbow, getting groceries and grabbing boxes in lieu of bags. I will celebrate her every time I stop to stare into the face of Corn Maiden, a tiny statue she gave me years ago. I will celebrate Margaret every time I bring awareness to the balls of my feet, palms out, repeating her words bubbling well from the Tai Chi directives that she always shared. Especially after walking through Joshua Tree with her silver-studded slip-on tennis shoes sparkling in the desert sand. Yes, a celebration from here on out. Every time I set the alarm on my phone, I will remember how she used to rail me for not staying updated with my settings and would promptly organize all my apps with her insistent Tedesco tutorials. Margaret, honestly, I lost track of when we actually met, although I have long suspected that we worked together in the Alexandrian Library with Matt Baruso and Lucas Mergita about 2,000 years ago. But of course, it actually had to have been somewhere closer to the San Francisco Art Institute in New Langton a mere 25 years ago. For myself, and I think she would agree, the ground of our working dialogue was conceptual magic and the juice of any pursuit. That is to say, how language offers portals where invisible thresholds exist. We would talk on the phone for up to 3 hours, you know, Yoko Ono and Elton John. It would start with editing issues and meander from there. We ran errands and we grocery shopped. M was a notorious backseat driver. Bossy all the way. For the full 25 years. You know, I often forget things, names, dates, details, and I'm pretty content to let things percolate. But Margaret, on the other hand, she remembered almost everything immediately. And I'm pretty sure she had a photographic memory, or at least a form of recall much sharper than most. In combination with her years of work across media, this lent her an air of authority. She was usually very confident in her opinions, to say the least. And M especially loved a confrontation over anything she opposed. This could be a brilliant bath of swirling ideas over dinner, yelling and laughing and pouring more wine, darling. Or it could be a specifically impatient challenge at any number of public events. She did not back away from what she found problematic. Margaret was always working out position. She knew hers, and she was tracking yours. Quick to perceive inequity, contradiction, and naivete, she could be fierce. Did not suffer fools. Had a habit of scolding, then informing. Let's just say she had a significant aptitude for control and intuition. To be in her orbit was to have to pay attention. Margaret took you seriously, even if you didn't take yourself seriously. Showing up all the time to everything and remembering everybody, this is not hyperbole. She was connective tissue. She was present and forthright. She was determined in her own projects and expected the same from others. Just get to your work and bite down on it. 20 years ago, I could not get to anything. I had lost my work in an actual flood, lost my job as I was losing my marriage, and getting very sick. She did for me what she did for countless others. Margaret talked me through it. Get yourself to therapy and stick with it. Get back to your writing and stick with it. Give me your resume. She redid the whole thing and sent me packing with a printed postcard of Remy Charlot's quote, "Artists have to take courage in one another because what they are doing will eventually save someone's life," literally. And I just have to say, off my text, Margaret was the one who gave me the courage and the love and set the example of unifying your life, because I had mine categorically in pockets, and when it fell apart, it was the beginning of a road to a more unified self. Margaret, thank you. Her interests extended into constant personal inquiry. What have you been up to? How's it going? You should have more studio visits, you know. I'll send the link. Look up this site. Apply now. And oh, by the way, do you know so-and-so? Including the first night I took her to the ER. One of the nurses knew someone at UC Santa Cruz that Margaret knew. And despite the desperate criticality of the situation, Em was still conversing through the fear and the pain, while I was having to do silent 4-2-4 breaths in order to stay calm and focused. Margaret and the nurse were connecting relationship dots. It was amazing to witness Em's perennial network open right up there in that emergency room. Over the next 3 years, I watched her energy ebb away and resume in careful flows, watching her cope as she maneuvered, listening to her strategies, witnessing her protocols, supporting her choreography of control as she navigated her course. In the few weeks before she died, when I was bringing her home from a paracentesis appointment at UCSF Mission Bay, she lay down in the seat. And as I pulled out of the hospital parking lot, she said, shaking her head, "Oh, what a day." With the same panache as if we had just wrapped up at Printed Matter and were on our way to grab a drink and dinner. I nodded and I smiled. And as I drove up 16th to get her home, struggling to keep my composure, she matter-of-factly looked over and whispered, "Turn on Potrero." I shit you not. Just the way she always did. Backseat driver extraordinaire. And now there is a restless coping trail, trying to trace the contour of uncertainty. I think I understand what is happening. Rolling over days through hours, staring out windows driving, in my chest, between both ears, along the rims of my glasses, at the gas station. I'm climbing the Himalayas without you, cherished one.
Thank you, Pam. Okay, I'd like to call up to the stage Leila Weefur. Leila.
Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Listening? Are you 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 listening? Listening? Are you 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 listening?
Those were our collective voices for our first collaboration for the 150th celebration at SFAI, and Amanda Kirkhoff so beautifully drew our images together. And it was one of many portraits I would be lucky to be in with her. Today is January 25th. And in 3 months, on April 25th, we will celebrate Margaret's birth, and hopefully many more 25ths to come. There are many ways I could speak about her to everyone in this room, but everything I want to say feels a little too hard. So I decided today I will say the easy things. I'm gonna put on my teacher hat. Everyone turn to the center page in your program. If everyone looks at the center spread in their programs, you'll see Margaret. You may look and see her actual name nowhere on that page, but you will hopefully, maybe, see your own name. All of the people on that page make up who she is. So if you see yourself on that page, it's as close as you'll get to seeing her too. You'll see the care, the thoughtfulness, the dedication, the interest and curiosity she had to know you all through your art and what you had to offer the world. To contribute to your growth, to collaborate, to introduce you to the world, to extend an opportunity to be in conversation with. You'll see her endless capacity and desire to practice art and life alongside you and build community around it. Believe it or not, this page is 320 plus names. Names that transcend time through decades and generations. 320 artists, thinkers, and collaborators. When I designed this, I knew I could never find every name of every person she touched. So if I somehow left you out of this print, just know that if you ever felt seen by her in any way, that you too belong on this list. And all the conversations I had with Margaret over the years, also probably up to 3 hours at a time, she spoke about you. And there is something that's something I can speak to, a consistent thing, that she saw you. And by you, I mean everyone in this room. She saw us. She saw us as individuals who shaped her interior landscape. She saw us as a collective. She saw what made us special, what made us feel seen. I believe that was her gift. Even in her final days, she made me feel seen, and it cost her nothing. She made me feel special just by sharing her time and interest in who I am. And I was special to her, just like everyone in this room was special to her. The only thing I hope is that I can somehow give her the same gift in return, to make her feel seen. Better answer that. So I invite you all to turn to the back of your programs. This is a performance of Margaret's that I'd like us all to do together, because especially today, I believe she wants us to have her support. My friend, our friend, Nao Bustamante, is passing out some extras if you don't have a program. I think I saw Margaret do this 1,000,000 times over. I'm gonna read these instructions out loud so we can all do it together collectively. So everyone should see this black and white image. Look steadily and concentrate on the 3 dots on the nose for about 60 seconds. Then when you're done, look up at one fixed spot on the wall for about 15 seconds, and a picture will appear. White or smooth wall preferred. If you did it right, you probably saw Margaret. What a person to witness. I've never known anyone more beautiful than Margaret. She gave me the gift of an uncompromising love and a boundless way of being in the world. And she wanted that for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Okay, I'd like to call to the stage right now Susan Gevirtz. Susan? Susan Gevirtz. I'm sorry, Susan.
Wow. There are a lot of people in here. And I am not surprised, but it is very moving to see. And thank you all who made this possible and who are here. Thank you so much. Well, first, that's me and Margaret. In a piece, we collaborated a lot together in a piece from 1999 called Subtitled. It was a collaboration between Zoe Kroll, Minette Lehman. Is Zoe in here? Great, that's wonderful, hi. Minette Lehman, I don't know if she's in here. And a collaboration with my poetry and the 1923 German film Warning Shadows. It was a small press traffic event. Would you like music? No. I offered my recording of coyotes howling, or one of birds. No, just silence and light. She wanted more light, and they moved her to a room with a view of the city. Light and quiet for the end. A big window, like a film frame, a film of the city and sky to drift off to. Framed light as film then and running throughout her life. How will I know what films or art I shouldn't miss without Margaret? Who will I talk with about the LA we grew up in? No one's eloquent enthusiasm or vivid memory archive of adolescence or filmography can begin to meet hers. In this room, over there, I think, but the room's been changed, but I think over there, in the year 2000, Margaret performed in our collaboration, There, Sensation and Interruption. Margaret, poet Andrew Klobuchar, and I made a soundscape of poetry from my book, Taken Place. It boomed loudly into this dark, unlit cavern, accompanying Margaret, who stood drenched in spotlight over in that corner behind a big industrial fan. She combed and parted and reparted her fan-blown hair, fretting, getting it right, while it was undone by the wind, by the no there that interrupts rightness. Her performance went on for hours as the sound looped in accompaniment. Many of you have probably seen Margaret in her platinum wig. In fact, there have been images of her up today in her wig. As far as I know, it was first, oh, there we go. It was first worn for Cameo, her solo performance installation at Yerba Buena Center for the Arts in 2005, and later restaged at SF MoMA. After I watched that performance many times, she asked me to write up my notes. The notes became a piece called Delphic Filmic, now in my book, Coming Events, which Margaret designed. I'll read a few paragraphs from Delphic Filmic. At first, it looked like the film was emanating from her body, as if her body had become a projector of light and sound. We who entered the small theater of this performance could not see the film. We could only see her seeing the film and speaking to it, or of it, or from it. Tedesco, the she enacting the film, outside of or to the side of the film, was the soundtrack, as she'd deleted the sound that originally accompanied the film. But while all of that is true, it does not describe the true event of Tedesco's performance. The true event was the trance that Tedesco entered and in which she remained. The trance of watching and responding without pause, hesitation, without breaking the rhythm of the telling of the film, or her body, which remained at profile to those of us seated on the benches in front of her. While there was an intimate familiarity, there was an equal element of surprise, of not knowing what was coming next, evident in Tedesco's performance. It was precipitous. She did not know what was going to come out of her mouth any more than we did. There was anticipation. What we witnessed made questions, and what we witnessed was question. Was she acting on the film by narrating it and responding to it? Or was the film acting on her, causing her, even demanding that she respond? Was the film the source of her trance, or was she encircling, capturing the film with her watch? In all cases, we, the viewers of her viewing, were implicated. The platinum wig was another projecting surface. It repelled any identification with the her in front of us as a friend or person with a proper name we could recall. She also did not supply the titles of any of the films she screened. We could wonder about her identity and the name of the film as we sat there, almost recognizing or even knowing actors, scenes, or camera angles. As a bright surface that could have been lifted out of a 40s movie, the platinum wig was also again signaled Tedesco's position as half in or half out of the screen, both performer and viewer, and performer of viewer. As a bright surface that emanated light and as feminine hair, the wig also made the her in front of us a gendered viewer, but not necessarily strictly a woman. Any of us can put on a wig. The performance was relentless. It went on and on without melodrama. It went on for as long as the film. On some evenings, that was 2 hours without pause. The intensity of unfaltering duration was a sight in itself. But not only a sight. We, the viewers of the viewer, were at least triply mesmerized by the film, by her presence as an acting, active viewer and narrator of the film, and as usual, by the camera itself. But what was the camera itself? What she said both did and didn't matter. In playing herself as the instrument of this tripled condition, the rhythm of her saying was more important than the what. Was it like a storm front moving across a plate glass window, a phenomenon to witness, to overhear, or to eavesdrop on? Or was the narration a way to caress the film, a way to speak with and to it, them, our real lovers, in case we hadn't noticed by now?
Its ends. Postcard obscenities, innocently beckoning, pretend.
Actually, could you hold that for just a sec, please? I just want to say a few more words, and then that would be great to hear that. Through the instruments of repetition, sustained attention, and a vast capacity to stay, Margaret knew how to play herself into trance, how to remain there, how to bring us along. I saw her do this with the Tai Chi form, in decades of friendship and community generosity, in performance and more. I keep seeing her now, just outside the frame, transducer, her relentless, acute attention requiring us to attend. To end, a brief excerpt from one of our There sensation and interruption soundscapes that played in this room in 2000. Okay, please.
Meets the house of glasses, as the house of fans versus the house of glasses. As one house cuts the other, story wrestles between its ends. Postcard obscenities, innocently beckoning, pretend. Inside the postcard, small craft, circling, circling, circling. On the ground, circling, circling the air, circling, circling. This is, this what, this that can be taken, this, the, taken away, take the taken away. Drank yourself down, past legibility, into sleep's past. This what's left, take, uncertain derivation, dissyllable, dissoluble. So go, gone, on to one, go trot, go on, give rise, give heat, eat stone, give bread, where gone go, off run.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, before we cap off this afternoon's event, I would like to say something about Margaret's life and legacy. To honor Margaret's life and legacy, we are kindly asking for gifts and contributions if you feel called. Your support will underwrite the organization and preservation of Margaret's expansive personal archive, including artifacts and artworks made and collected by her in her lifetime. And if you all knew Margaret, you knew that she had the most amazing collection of ephemera, books, tapes, just boxes of it. And it would be great for it to all be in one piece as an archive. You may donate to the Margaret Tedesco Legacy Fund by scanning the QR code next to the guest book on the table near the entrance and at the end of each one of these aisles. So we'd like to toast Margaret, send her off, and we would actually like to physically toast her. So we have glasses of champagne, both alcoholic and non-alcohol, for your choice. And we're all going to have a glass and lift it and toast Margaret Tedesco. This might take a second, because there's a lot of y'all. And if we can eventually have everyone who spoke today come to the front of the stage, join me. Yeah? We ready? Okay. Lift your glass. Raise it high. To Margaret Tedesco, the spirit of San Francisco! Salute. Thank you, guys.